My name is Quinn Gibbons, as this is the NTV360 Podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Mason Boswell. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Can you share a little bit about your background with us today?
Yeah, I'm from Dallas, Texas, where we do business and have done life. And me and Grant Isbell are running Maverick Digital and just making things happen. And we're excited to connect the local community.
Amazing. You have an incredible background and you've grown up in the franchising world and you've seen probably thousands of franchises and franchises models probably coming and going as well. What was your specific aha moment where you realized NTV360 was going to be a good fit for you?
Yeah, so we work at IFPG as a consultant. We work with over 600 different brands, right? Mm-hmm. And so we, one of the largest broker groups in the world, have a pretty big network of franchises that we're able to work with. And obviously NTV360 being one of them, there's a lot of good things that there has to be for one of the 600 brands that I have to choose. So I'd say whenever I had that aha moment was whenever I looked into the brand, I looked into three big things. First, does the model have recurring revenue? Second, does it have multiple revenue streams? Because that's important as a business owner to ground yourself in having stability, right? Stability is a big thing. And third, and arguably the most important for me, was the people. And I'm sure we'll get into that more, but this brand truly does care about you as a franchise owner, and I saw that right from the start. And it was just one of the very first things that I remember clicking. I was like, guys, these guys just care about you. They truly do. And so that was my aha moment.
That's amazing. We are very people first. I think that at the end of the day, surrounding yourself with like-minded people and people that you enjoy working with is so important in the day-to-day of a franchisee particularly. You have probably seen hundreds, if not thousands, of FDDs as well. Prior to joining NTV360, I'm sure that you looked through the FDD of ours. Did you see any green flags that really stood out in that FDD that solidified the decision for you?
100%. If I didn't see a green flag, I wouldn't have chosen the brand, but absolutely. And a few of those green flags, I think for me, were, is this brand affordable, right? Is it a brand that I can actually afford as a student coming out of college? And it was. And so that was a great thing that I saw right from the bat. And also something important that I noticed in there in the item 19, which kind of dives into the numbers of the brand, is what's the overhead look like for this brand? And for me, as someone who has never run a business before, that's a pretty big deal. And so I noticed that there's not a lot of overhead that goes into this, which is a huge plus, because as the business owner, what does that mean for me? Less to manage and more to actually be out doing life with other business owners, loving and connecting with others and networking. And so the fact that there was just no overhead, it's an affordable brand and it has high margins, man, those are three dreams for a business owner that NTV can offer. And so I was just like, man, this is the one. So those are those green flags.
So how does the NTV360 model kind of ease some of the common struggles that a franchisee might be up against compared to some other franchise models out there?
Quinn, a big thing that matters to me is flexibility. I think Grant would say the same, that as college students, we really care about fitness and athletics and also managing our daily lives and loving life. And a lot of franchises out there just truly can't offer you that. They say that they can offer you that, but they can't truly offer you that. And I think whenever I looked at NTV360, I was like, okay, I kind of see what my day-to-day would look like. Here's how I'm able to actually manage life, manage what I do outside of work, and also be excited to go back to work to connect with other people. And NTV just gave me the ability to have flexibility and to enjoy what I do outside of work and not have to worry about coming back to the office and having just this absolute load of work to do because I took an hour to go to the gym. And so I think that that's one thing that I would definitely say NTV offers that is just not a lot of franchises can bring to the table.
What I love about this business is you can kind of work it into your everyday life as well, right? We go to businesses every single day, and if you can target local business owners instead of just shopping at a corporate business, you have the potential of building a relationship and ultimately winning them as a client as well. How do you guys typically structure your day-to-day in running the business?
Quinn, it is always a a fun time structuring our day because we have a lot of flexibility, like I said. One of the things that we're able to do is like on Monday, we get to kind of plan out our week, right? We get to figure out, hey, here's who I'm going to call Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and here's what Friday's going to look like. And you have that availability to like, I'm going to go connect with this person just because I want to make that connection. And if you're a people-driven person and somebody who loves connecting and networking with other people, that is a huge like value-driven role, right? You get to connect and love on other people. And just as a franchise owner, like being able to build my schedule how I want to best build my schedule is a huge positive about this brand.
How does this model allow you to balance both roles of being a IFPG broker and being a franchise owner?
You know, like I said, it's very people driven, right? It's network. It's all about networking. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think this brand really is the heart and soul of what that actually means, right? It's so my day-to-day as a broker looks like just connecting and coaching and guiding people throughout what it looks like to be a franchise owner. But NTV, on the other hand, is like what it looks like to support business owners and help them guide them to the business that they always dreamed of having. And so being able to handle both sides of the spectrum and like really like get to love and guide and support people is kind of my calling as a believer. And you know, how can I love people better? I can do that by supporting them and offering them value rather than selling them on what we have to offer. I think there's a lot of value in that, and I love that part of the business.
You're just like a professional friend maker.
I guess so.
You're
Yeah.
just going to talk to awesome people and guide them to different solutions that are going to work best for them, right? That's amazing, both in marketing as well as a broker. Now, you understand the velocity of growth better than most. How quickly were you able to get up and running in this business compared to maybe some other franchises?
Yes, I think me and Grant can both say that we didn't expect to grow how fast we did.
That's amazing.
And we were very blessed to have that kind of mentality to where we're just like, you know, so full of support and so full of training that we really knew what we were doing. And so in the first few months, we just hit marks that we never expected that we were going to hit. I think we had 30 venue partners in just the first few months, which as 23-year-old business owner, we never would have thought would be possible. So having the team to support us to actually help us make that possible and to have a platform where we can actually grow the business in a very, you know, affordable but yet strong manner was like just a crazy, you know, fact that I never thought was possible. So
it sounds like you ended up growing actually a lot faster than you expected.
Yeah, 100%.
So where are you at now in your plans of growth, and what are your kind of future plans for just the next couple of months?
Absolutely. We have some strong goals. We want the business to be break even here in the next few months, which is very possible with this trajectory.
You're like right
yeah,
there.
right there. And we got some solid trajectory. We Grant could agree that we are on like this just super solid like pipeline growth of just like managing these people who love what we do and love us and can see value in what we do, which we're all about. And so getting to call those people every day and then to be like, okay, so I'm loving what I'm doing. When is the part that I don't like coming? And I'm like, I'm missing something, you know? And it's just a blessing. I don't know. So we're hitting those marks real soon.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, franchising is often about building a legacy, and that could be even for generations to come as well. How does NTV360 fit into the Boswell legacy that you're building for yourself? Yes,
so a little bit about myself, Quinn. My family has been in franchising for as long as I've been alive. It's been our way of life of from the day I was born. My dad had a poop scooping franchise. They were number one in the number two business, and you know, I was born into that. And so kind of, you know, developing myself into that like legacy of okay, so here's what we do at NTV360. We not only like help other businesses grow, but we're that local community builder. Like whenever people call me and say, Mason, what do you do? I say, I'm not really, you know, we do marketing, but really what I'm here to do is to help you achieve your dreams. Like I want to help you as a business owner get to where you want to be. And getting to help people actually realize that is such an awesome thing. And I think for the Boswell family legacy, just being able to love people and guide people is such a fulfilling and value-driven thing that in just the past few months of working with Grant, just figuring out how to do this thing has been like immensely purpose-driven and has really showed me like, hey, here's what this legacy is going to look like. You're going to be someone who people know and value and trust, and you can help them build legacies for them and their families. So it's like you get to help so many people understand and realize their value for their local community. And so it's really starting at like a chain, reaction of just like, I have the ability to love and care for people just like these people are doing for me. And I think Grant would say the same thing, that we just have the platform to do that very well.
You've mentioned Grant a couple of times as well. Tell us a little bit about how you have been able to identify a fantastic general manager for your territory and how you two work together to build your business.
Yeah, so it's a two-man show, Quinn. We really do it all, in-house, but of course we have y'all, this awesome support team here in Denver. But in Dallas, me and Grant just like bounce ideas off of each other each and every day of just like, hey, here's what I'm going through. How can I figure this out? Like, it is truly built from the ground up, and we are truly like figuring out the weeds of like how do I do this? How do I handle this? And I think that is really cool because it gives us the opportunity to grow as individuals into like people who can add value to other people. And I keep saying that, but we really do believe that like we can add value to other people and not just sell them a product that has monetary value. And so I think that me and Grant both bounce ideas off each other all the time, but also like are just able to like put these ideas and these creative thoughts into effect just because we have that opportunity. And as salesmen, as value-driven people, I think we just have such an awesome platform to do that. So yeah.
You've mentioned adding value to people a couple of times as well, and just building others up. Tell me about some of the most common ways that you add value to people in your everyday life in both the franchise business that you're running as well as a broker.
Yeah, so what I love to tell people is you do not have to be tied down to a desk every day. You don't have to go to work and say, I hate what I do, and do that for the next 30, 40 years. You don't have to do that, but it's pushed into society nowadays, I think. And so what I love to tell people is go be your own boss. As a consultant, go be your own boss. Go love life. Go choose your schedule and just aggressively love life. And as a consultant, that is such a freeing thing to see people realize. Like, I really don't have to be tied down to a desk and just have to like listen to what a boss tells me to do every day. I have the opportunity to go do something I never thought was possible. And that is such an awesome thing to see. But also at NTV, like, we have the other end of the spectrum of telling people, hey, like, you don't have to handle this all yourself. It's very overwhelming to be a business owner. You have so many platforms and ideas that you can just go and like pursue, and NTV gives you the opportunity to pursue that, and to help you get out into that community and find those customers and to build the business that you dreamed of. And so it really is awesome. I love being able to help people realize that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that you're always trying to lift others up around you and just offer value to people, which I think in turn is also going to add value to you at the end of the day, because you're growing your network, you're really instilling trust in everybody that's surrounding you. And I mean, that's something that can't be faked, right? That's something that you genuinely want to help the others around you, which is amazing. That's a very incredible quality to have. And I'm wondering as well, for somebody who's on the fence, looking into NTV360, what may they not be able to see on the website that's a big value that we offer?
I love this question, Quinn, because I think that the website just doesn't do enough, but we really do push for that, like website creation. But one thing that I would say you can't really see whenever you just look at us from face value is like, this brand isn't really about just numbers. They're really about people. And I think both me and Grant would agree that like we have really been treated like valued people. Whenever, from the day we started this business to now, and I'm sure in the near future, we're always going to be treated like valuable human beings who just have like this ability to grow other people. And I think that the energy that's poured into us from this awesome team, we're able to pour into others. And I keep saying Grant would agree, but he definitely would agree that y'all just do such a good job of like loving other people and just supporting and like really like making sure that we do know what we are doing out there. Because whenever you're tossed into the wind and you're on a random boat in the middle of the ocean, you don't know where to go. And I really don't feel like we've been treated that way. I feel like we are trained people who know how to go treat other people, and hopefully we can do the same to others as y'all do to us. to love them and care for them and also help them build the business that they dreamed of, but also support them. And y'all just do such a good job of doing that to me as a franchisee and Grant as the ops manager. And I think that's just such a blessing that y'all do.
That's incredible. I think that being a business owner, and especially in outside sales, it can be a little bit isolating. You know, you turn around and you say, okay, who else is there? Oh, there's nobody there. But the truth is there is over, 150, 200 people who are doing the exact same thing that you are, but also the NTV360 team. We want to hear everything that you guys have going on. I mean, every morning we meet as a client services department to go through all of our franchisees to say, how are they doing? Are they hitting their goals? Is there anything more that we can do to help? So hearing that is definitely trickled down and you feel that is really amazing to hear. I'm wondering as well, if there's anybody who's looking at NTV360 today and look at it through the consultant lens, rather than your owner lens, who's the most ideal type of person for this business?
Yeah, so, as a consultant, I probably deal with way more people than you would ever expect, right? Like people who are quiet, who are, standoffish, and also people who love being in front of people. And so finding the balance between the two, I think NTV has a very large funnel of really, you just have to be someone who loves people, because you're facing them every day. You're partnering with them every day. And so what I'll do whenever I hop onto a sales call is say, hey, I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm just here to see if what I do can add value to your business. And so someone who can, also is not afraid to have a sales call. And I hate calling it sales. I love calling it value-driven calls, right? Can I add value to your business through this call? And so somebody who's not afraid to have a value-driven call, and somebody who loves people, and also somebody who's not afraid to get out into the community and just, be out there to be in front of people. And so that's really all that you need to be an owner of this business, which isn't a lot. You just have to be someone who loves people a lot. And as an owner, I think that really is a true thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on with us today, Mason, to talk about your experience and everything that you see. I mean, especially through your lens as a broker. I think that it's very valuable for others to see exactly what your experience has been. And we really appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, Quinn. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah.
For more information on becoming an NTV360 franchisee, visit ntv360.com today. Watch us.